Hi! Today I'm going to show you how to stretch one package of Stampin' Up! Presents and Pinecones Designer Series paper to use for, are you ready for this? 160 Christmas cards as I demonstrate for you my Simply Pretty Holly Berry Happiness Christmas card with the coordinating Holly Berry Builder Punch. I'm so glad you're joining me today. Welcome to StampingSmiles.com. I'm Shelley Godby, the owner and CEO of Stamping Smiles, and for 15 years I've been teaching others how to create their own hand stamped smiles. So here's what happened. I designed my Holly Berry Happiness Christmas card and then just sat back and looked at it for a while. And I thought, boy, I think I'd like it a lot better if I changed the color of the card base. So I made that change and really did like it. And then, because I know a lot of us make a lot of Christmas cards, I want to show you how to stretch that package of Designer Series paper. And so I used 4 more patterns. And so I was just thrilled when I realized that if anyone wanted to, they could use that one package of paper to decorate up to 160 Christmas cards. So stick around to the end because I'm going to show you the original card and then the other 4. I just love holly on Christmas cards and was so excited when I saw the Holly Berry Happiness stamp set with the coordinating Holly Berry Builder Punch in the 2016 Stampin' Up! Holiday Catalog. And when you order them together using the special item number I have listed here for the Holly Berry Happiness Bundle, you'll save 10% on both, and you absolutely want both of them. Now for the card I'm demonstrating for you today, I'm going to be using just this stamp set, but you know we're going to be able to use this for accents with other stamp sets as well. Okay, so we're going to be doing some die cutting and embossing, so let me grab my Big Shot. So I have my Big Shot die cutting machine and the Big Shot platform that comes with it. And because I'm going to be die cutting with thin metal dies, these are the Layering Circles Framelits dies, I need the thin die adapter. It comes with it too. And so we're starting to build our sandwich. The next part of our sandwich is a cutting pad and then our cardstock. I'm using Whisper White cardstock. And so then I want to use this die for my Layering Circles Framelits dies. And there is a little edge on there. That is the cutting edge. We're going to place that down. Okay, and so to finish our sandwich, I have another cutting pad, and 2 cutting pads come with the purchase. So we're just going to go ahead and feed this through. And then we get our die cut circle. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. Okay, so I could have stamped it first and then centered this around it. That's because it's called a framelit die. But this is a photopolymer stamp set. I can see right where I'm stamping, so I'm finding it easier to just get a whole bunch of circles, die cut first, and then do the stamping. Okay, so we're going to use the same platform for our embossing, but we're going to take away the thin die adapter. We don't need that. So the start of our sandwich is the Big Shot platform, a cutting pad, and then I have here the Holly embossing folder from the 2016-2017 Stampin' Up! Catalog. When I looked at it in the catalog, I just couldn't see the holly. I thought, boy, that doesn't look attractive. Well, it absolutely is. It is a gorgeous embossing folder. So we're going to emboss some Whisper White cardstock, and I've cut this to 4 1/4 by 4, so it's going across that whole width. Okay, and then we place this on here. And then another cutting pad finishes our sandwich. And we're going to go ahead and let that emboss the holly into there with 3,000 pounds of pressure. And wait till you see how gorgeous this is. Look at that detail. Isn't that beautiful? Before we attached our beautiful holly embossed Whisper White cardstock to our Whisper White thick cardstock card base, we're going to decorate with some of the coordinating Presents and Pinecones designer washi tape. We're going to use the stripes. So here's what I like to do when I'm doing mass production. Once I have my design done, I like to have a template. So because I like the placement of this, so I got that all set, and I'm just going to put these close to each other. And so I can start right about there. I'm going to go off the edge on purpose a little bit and come over straight across. And I like to take my ruler and make sure it is even. Okay, that looks good. That looks good before I press down, because once I press down, washi tape really does have a good hold. So, and then I want a clean edge. You're supposed to be able to tear it, but I really want a nice clean edge. So I'm going to take my paper snips, go along and trim that right off. Oh, looking good. And then over here, we went off that edge. Let's go over here and clean that up too. Okay, oh, looking so good. Okay, so now we're ready to adhere this. And we've got all that embossing, so we don't have a flat surface, so I want an extra strong adhesive. I'm going to use mini glue dots. Okay, so the box is just a holder, it's not a dispenser. Take it out, peel it back until you can see the dots in the light. And if you can avoid it, you don't want to touch them because that'll take away from their extreme stickiness. Instead, take your paper to them and let's press. And normally I'd say one in each corner, but I want to put one on the center edge too. Okay, great. Let's look, all right, about right here. I'm trying to get close to that edge. Okay, one more I believe. You know, so it'll lay flat for us. Do I have one? Do I have all of them? Oh, I think I missed one right there. Okay, looking really good. And so now this is going to be flush from side to side and to the top. But we put our washi tape down first so it could go over top and just does not look really finished like that. Okay, let's open it up. Nothing's hanging over. Very pleased. So let's just press everywhere. Now we've got a great hold, and we're ready to do some stamping. Both our greeting and sentiment are included in the Holly Berry Happiness stamp set. We're going to be using the Christmas wishes from across the miles and then the sentiment on the inside and the coordinating color of Cherry Cobbler. This is in both the Presents and Pinecones Designer Washi tape and the Presents and Pinecones Designer Series paper. So we're going to push, flip, and lock that lid into place. Okay, so let's ink this up. And we're going to stamp. You know, one thing I really like about circles, if you don't stamp straight, you just rotate the circle till it is straight. Love that about circles. Okay, so let's stay at the same color for our sentiment on the inside. And I mentioned that I was using the Whisper White Thick cardstock. Whenever you want white for your card base, I recommend this. It's heavier, but it still has the great finish of Whisper White cardstock and takes ink beautifully. Okay, so let's stamp that. Oh, fantastic. May the happiness of family, the joys of friendship, and the warmth of love surround you this season. Okay, so we're ready to continue with some stamping. Now we get to do the holly and the berries. And we can go ahead and do the berries since I have the Cherry Cobbler still open. And this is a two-step stamp set. And I'm self-taught, and when I started doing the two-step, it made sense to me to first do the most solid one and then put the detail over top. Well, I'm finding with the photopolymer it's working a lot better the other way. So I'm going to first stamp my detail full strength, and you can tell it's the detail because it has these little lines on there. Then for our fill-in, we have a solid berry, and I'm going to, what technique is called stamping off. I'm going to stamp off some of the ink and then do this right over top. And oh, isn't that beautiful? So you have two different colors for one stamp pad. So we're going to need 3 of those. So we can just do all 3. 1, 2, there we go. And then fill those in. And the punch, the coordinating punch, we're going to punch those out. Okay. Great. So next, we're done with this. So let me show you how to close our stamp pads. Pull on that, flip, and then click. Great. And so now Emerald Envy for our holly leaves. So again, push, flip, lock that lid into place. Okay, so with these, what I've learned is, can you see that line? That I need that at the top for punching out. Okay, so we're going to do the detailed stamp first, full strength. You know what, and I know I want 2 of those, so we can go ahead and just do both. Great. And then we have the fill, and it needs to be a certain way too. It's fatter at the top. So let's go ahead and ink this up, and we're going to stamp off some of the ink. there's a little something on there. Let's get that off because that's going to end up, there we go. It's going to end up on my stamped image. Let's try that again. Oh, that looks really good. Okay, and trying to do this without sticking my head in the shot because I do like to hover. Oh, look at that. Beautiful. All right, and one more time. Oh, very, very nice. Okay, so we are done with these. We can go ahead and put this way, pull, and pull it all the way out, okay, before you flip. Perfect. And now we have the Holly Berry Builder Punch. And so you're going to see when I go and slide this in, that's how it fits in there. So that line, put the line at the top for your punching, and we can center that right in there. Really like that about Stampin' Up! Punches, that we can stamp then punch, because can you imagine punching this out and then trying to stamp on top? Doesn't that look great? And let's turn this around here for our Holly Berry. Get that all centered. Okay. And you do want something to hang on to. So you don't want a tiny, tiny piece of scrap paper, even though you have it, because you do want something to hang on to. Look at that. Isn't that great? Okay, to save time, I have a couple more already done. I have the 3 holly berries stamped and punched and another holly leaf. Okay, so next we're going to do the designer paper and we're going to put it all together. I'm going to show you how to cut your paper. So here I have one of the 12 patterns from the Presents and Pinecones Designer Series paper cut to 4 1/4 by 1 3/4. So I made a template to show you how to maximize your paper to get 16 of these pieces from one 12 by 12 sheet. So here's what I would do. I would cut this at the entire length at 3.5 inches, cut that off. And then with the remainder, you'll cut that at 4 1/4. And so for this, you'll cut the rest of these at 1 3/4 inch. And over here in this piece, you're going to cut that in half to 1 3/4 and then in half at 4 1/4. And so let me lay these on here so you can see how you can get 16 of these. There's a little bit of leftover that you'll be able to use for another project. Okay? So once you have those all cut, we're ready for our triple banner punch. Let's open that up, and we're going to slide this right in here. We're going to center it. Great. And punch. And look, we get that awesome fishtail. You know, we could do that by hand, but oh my goodness, when you've got a tool that'll make it easier, let's go for that route. Okay, so again, because we have all of this texture, we're going to use mini glue dots. So let's go ahead and peel those back. And this time, I believe 1 in each corner will be sufficient. There we go. And so this is going to go flush to the left edge and the bottom edge here. So we place that once we're happy. Whoops. Okay. Once we're happy, then we press down. Great. And then we have our sentiment and our die cut circle, Christmas wishes from across the miles. I just love adding dimension. It's an easy way to dress up a card, and how we're going to do that is with Stampin' Dimensionals. These are foam adhesive dots. So let's put one, well, I'd say each corner, but circles don't have corners, do they? So let's do this. Okay. And then we peel off the backing, and if it ever doesn't come up, like that one didn't just pop off for me real easily, just press down with your thumbnail, and it makes the edge pop up, so it's easy to get those off. Well, hold it in your hand. Okay, let's get that off of there. And then, like I said, you just rotate till it's right. That's looking really good. I'm centering it on here. I'm centering it between the top of my designer paper and my washi tape. Thinking that's looking really good. Okay, now we're ready to add our holly leaves and our berries. And it's just going to make life easier to use mini glue dots on these small pieces. Okay, so let's take it to it, press down, and place. Isn't all of this color just really pretty against the white? Okay, let's come over here. Let's get another one. So we've got those two. Looking oh so good. Okay, now for our berries, and this is when you really appreciate mini glue dots for little pieces like this. And we're going to put those on. Sweet, sweet, sweet. Really an easy card, but just attractive. Really attractive. Oh, and I can't wait to show you. My original card I did in Emerald Envy, so I'm going to show you so you can compare the two. And one more. Mini glue dots are a beautiful thing. There we go. Isn't that sweet? Oh, simple and pretty. And of course we have our sentiment inside. Here's my Hollyberry Happiness Christmas card in Emerald Envy for the card base and for the Holly embossed cardstock. It's pretty too. It was a hard decision, but ultimately I picked the Whisper White as my favorite. You have to tell me which one you like best. And then I chose these 5 patterns from the Presents and Pinecones Designer Series paper. There are 12 in all. Stampin' Up! Designer paper, well, it's double-sided, so I was careful to pick a pattern that was only available on one side. You can see we didn't use any of these. All right, and then I was very careful not to choose this cherry cobbler pattern because on the opposite side are the stars. And I used those for my Wonder of Christmas card that I demonstrated a couple weeks ago. So just in case somebody wanted to make both, I made the decision not to use this cherry cobbler pattern, okay? And then for the washi tape, the Presents and Pinecones washi tape, I use the other 4 patterns, maximizing the products that we're purchasing. Okay, so I'm sure you'd like to see the other 4 cards. And so the next one, I did just the opposite, the stripes for the paper, and then the holly for the washi tape. And then we have this one. So see, we're just really using it up. And then for this one, I went ahead and I used the Pretty Pines Thinlits dies to add a little bit of a pine bough because I had it here in the paper. And I had said before that I knew these Pretty Pines Thinlits were going to make great accents for other projects, just like the holly will too. And then for the last one, I used the bow. Did you see the bow in the stamp set? It's a 2-step, so we have that beautiful detail. And it's on the Holly Berry Builder Punch. Sweet, sweet, sweet. So there you have it. 5 cards that you can make up to 160 from one package of the Presents and Pinecones Designer Series paper. And then one quick note. Stampin' Up! Through October 31st, 2016, they're having a Designer Series paper sale. There are select packages of Designer Series paper, and the Presents and Pinecones paper is included. So you buy 3 and you get 1 free. So if you choose to make this card, and unless you need more than 160, mix it up and build up your collection during the sale. That's through October 31st, 2016 only in my online store, www.shopwithshelly.com. If you'd like to make 2 or 200 of my Hollyberry Happiness Christmas card, all the supplies are listed underneath the video and available to order in my online store, www.shopwithshelly.com. I'm Shelley Godby, teaching you how to create hand stamped smiles. Thanks for watching.